Good morning. Craig Howard. Happy to be with you again this morning. I thought I'd just pop out here for a minute and it wouldn't be too bad, so I didn't put a jacket on, and now I'm wishing I had. And I made a rhyme and didn't know it. Anyway, I was reading something this morning that kind of blew my mind. That doesn't take much, I know. But it was the statistics about the presidential motorcade. Every time the president goes someplace, there's this big convoy of cars that travel with him and that go with him, and it goes with him anywhere he goes. I mean, if he goes to another part of the world, a C-17 or C-17 loads all of the cars up and flies them to wherever he's going. Good morning, Peanut. Come here, I'll pet you on the head. The cost is quite high to transport the president, um, but it's because, in part, because of the kind of vehicles and all that it takes for every trip. Let me just read down through this for you. For every trip, generally, this is what the presidential motorcade is made up of. There's a route car and a pilot car. These are the cars that go ahead and kind of checking the route and making sure it's clear. Then there's sweepers. That's motorcycles and patrol cars that are kind of clearing the way. Then there's the presidential limousine. This very heavy Cadillac is an extremely survivable armored car. It's called the Beast. It's outfitted with top-level ballistic armoring, night vision, infrared driving systems, a sealed cabin with an independent air supply capable of enduring a nuclear, biological, chemical attack, and even a supply of the president's blood type. All of this in addition to a state-of-the-art communication system. That's in the limo. Then there's identical limousines that act as decoys that go along, sometimes one, two, three, that go along, or in case that one fails or the motor fails or something happens, there's identical ones that he can move into. And then there's additional vehicles, SUVs filled with armored agents. There's an electronic countermeasures vehicle in case there's an air attack that it can throw out chaff and electronic jamming signals and all of that, smoke and all of that. There's a press van, an ambulance in case there's an accident or attack, and helicopters overhead to provide overwatch. In all, the White House spends $350 million a year just to transport the leader of the free world from place to place on the ground. It's incredible. When you stop and think that the creator of the world traveled from heaven to earth, born of a virgin, laid in a manger. There was no fanfare. There was no press corps. There was no armored limousine. There wasn't even, well, there was. I started to say there wasn't even a contingent of angels, but the shepherds saw the contingent of angels. How different. You know, when he came to earth, it was a very low-key thing. Instead, his arrival was mainly witnessed by Mary and Joseph, a few humble shepherds. However, it was the costliest trip in history, since he was rich and he became poor, the Bible says in 2 Corinthians verse 8 and 9. He emptied himself and took on the form of a servant, it said in Philippians 2:6. He left the glory and worship of heaven to be born in a stable, Luke 2:7 tells us. That trip cost him his life. It cost him the glory of heaven for a time. It wasn't a presidential motorcade. Didn't have all the fanfare and excitement. But it was a pretty incredible trip. We're going to celebrate that trip in a few days. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas season. God bless you in all that you do. Mom, if you're watching, I love you. Bye.